Good afternoon. Thank you everyone for being here today. Very excited about our ceremony for work ethic certification. Seniors here that have been able to earn this certification, very proud of what you've been able to accomplish. We know that you're going to go on to do great things. We are going to recognize you all with your cords that you're going to be able to wear at graduation. I know cords are a big deal. Everyone's always looking to show off some accolades. But I think above all, what the work ethic certification stands for is even greater than just a symbolic cord that you'll wear around your neck. We've been doing some work in our community for the past 5 years, and we have now come to the point of about 50% of your graduating class are earning this. So it's phenomenal, it's fantastic, but it's still something to be achieved. Reminder that one of the big things that goes along with this work ethic certification is that you are recognized in the community for potential job interviews. Our partner with Hardin County Chamber of Commerce, allowing you all as graduates to interview for positions that you meet the criteria for is phenomenal. You don't see that in a lot of places. So, on top of everything that you've accomplished, the resume building that you've done, the interpersonal soft skills that you've developed, being eligible for those interviews, hopefully will be that jumpstart that you need into your college and career. Today we're very blessed to have a guest speaker here with us today, Dr. Jamie Lane. I'm going to give you a couple of things about Dr. Lane here. He is a Hardin County native. He graduated from West Hardin when it was a high school. Okay, I know that's a little different for some. West Hardin in 1988. He did attend Elizabethtown Community Technical College from 88 to 1990, completing his pre-pharmacy work. He attended Sanford University, the McWhorter School of Pharmacy in Birmingham, Alabama, earning his Bachelor of Science and Doctor of Pharmacy degrees in 1993 and 94, respectively. He completed a pharmacy practice residency at Barnes Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri in 1995, and began employment at Hardin Memorial Hospital in 1995. He's board-certified pharmacotherapy specialist, I think I got that right. Current manager of the inpatient pharmacy at Hardin Memorial Hospital, and will be transitioning to the department director role in the coming months. He's a member of Valley Creek Baptist Church in Elizabethtown. He's married and a father of 3 children. Please welcome Dr. Jamie Lane.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say thanks for giving me a few minutes today to talk with you guys about just work ethic and your work ethic certification. I'm really blessed to be here with you this afternoon. I think back and it being 2018, it's hard to believe that it's been 30 years since I was in your shoes. And really, I think that there's a lot of water under that bridge, so to speak, and so I'm given an opportunity today to kind of share with you some of those choices that I was able to make, I guess, through the course of my journey, and I'm sure won't be too dissimilar from the choices that you'll have in your future as well. I'd like to congratulate you on your impending graduation, and congratulate you on achieving the work ethic certification. I think that is just a phenomenal thing. I think it's a phenomenal program. I think the 8 standards are really exemplary of what we as employers in the workforce look for in potential employees. We invest a lot of resources into our employees from a training standpoint and from a retention standpoint, and so having employees that we can count on that have good work ethics is really very important to us in our consideration and evaluation. And while we don't call the standards by the exact words that I think the district uses, we do use things like chemistry and character and credentialing and those kinds of things that are basically synonymous with what the work ethic certification looks for and tries to target. I actually want to commend you on your decision to pursue the certification. I'm aware that about 50% of seniors in the district will be achieving the certification, but I think just the decision to pursue it and to understand the magnitude of the accomplishment is I think it really speaks volume to you as an individual and as a person of character and integrity, which employers are looking for. Dan shared a little bit about, I guess, some of my history, and I'd like to maybe just kind of expound on that a little bit. I am from Hardin County and went to West Hardin, and so 30 years ago, I was sitting in the seats that you're sitting in, not in such a nice building, but still, it was in a similar position, ready to enter into that next phase of my journey, and I know that'll differ for all of you, but in a sense, you're in sort of the same position that I was in and that any graduating senior would be in. I was fortunate enough to know by the time that I was a junior in high school that I wanted to be a pharmacist if I could. I have an uncle who's a pharmacist, and back in those days, we didn't have the internet, and so we went through some tests that looked at what your interests are and kind of matched them with potential career paths. And I was thinking about pharmacy at the time, and that test confirmed that with pharmacy, along with landscaping architecture, which doesn't really mesh with pharmacy. But I ended up choosing pharmacy and decided to go to, it was ECC at the time, ECTC now, because I thought that it would allow me to save my parents some money and that it would allow me just to continue to mature into a young person and get used to the rigors of college work, really. So at that time, the only pharmacy school in the state of Kentucky was the University of Kentucky. We have two now, one's at Sullivan and one's at UK. And in pharmacy, it's not a post-baccalaureate program. So there are prerequisites that you satisfy in pharmacy, and then you apply to pharmacy school and you get in, and that's where your degree comes from. So really, it was a 2-year program in pre-pharmacy work at ECC, and that's pretty much what it is now. A lot of folks will take 3 years to get that done, but I took summer classes, and I wanted to get through all of that as quickly as I could. So I finished 2 years at ECC, and I was in the spring of my second year applying for pharmacy school admission in that fall. And I think UK's application deadline was around April 1st or something like that. And it was February. I had my application in. I was ready to go. And I got a call from the Dean of Student Affairs at UK in about mid-April. And he said to me, we're not going to be able to consider your application because your grade point average is good enough, but you don't have the prerequisites that you need, and your admissions test score could use some improvement. And so he wanted me to send him a letter to withdraw my application, so it didn't even go before an admissions board. So I did that, and then I just started thinking. He told me I could go to UK and take some prerequisite classes and finish those up, and then I'd be okay the next year and all of that, but I didn't want to waste a year. If I didn't have to. Well, I decided so this was really a crossroads for me, and you're going to come to those too, where you have to decide it's not the path that I want to go down isn't the easy path, but am I willing to make the commitment for what I really want to do? And so I had a decision. I could change my major, I could wait a year and see if I got into UK, or I could just see what other opportunities were out there for pharmacy. So I got a map out, and I plotted out about 350 miles from E-Town in a radius, and found all the schools of pharmacy within that radius and called every one of them. The only place still taking applications at the time was Samford University in Birmingham, and I'd known a couple of pharmacists that went to Samford, a very strong, traditionally community pharmacy school. And so I applied to Samford, and within 3 weeks, I got an acceptance letter. And so I decided that I was willing to move away from home. Never really been away from home very much then, and landed in Birmingham, and I had 3 roommates. One was from Birmingham, one was from Waco, Texas, and one was from Jackson, Mississippi. Closest person I knew was in Nashville, which was about 3 hours away. Really on my own for the first time and trying to figure it all out, but that didn't matter because I was set on a goal. And once I got into pharmacy school, I knew that I could do it. It was really just a matter of getting in. If I could get in, then I would work hard enough to get through. And it worked out. I went through, graduated from Samford, then ended up seeking residency training, interviewed at 4 different places for residency, and matched with Barnes Hospital in St. Louis, which still is about 5 or 6 times the size that Hardin Memorial is, a big medical center, and that helped me to just grow and mature even more. So really having that goal and willing to go get it is kind of what made the difference for me. My wife and I moved back to E-Town. I started at Hardin Memorial in the mid-90s and was a staff pharmacist there until about 2006. Was a little frustrated with some of the things in my career and made a career move to retail pharmacy from 2006 to 2011, and then came back in 2011 at Hardin Memorial. Worked as a staff pharmacist for about 3 years, and then had an opportunity to move into management. Applied for that position and went through the interview process and was ultimately named manager, and have been manager since August of 2014, and now we're transitioning. I was able to interview for the director role and have been named the director effective. It'll be this summer sometime. But the whole point of all that is that as a manager and as a director, I am privy to interviewing candidates both on the technician side and on the pharmacist side. I work with a peer team, and I work with other staff members on the pharmacy to make determinations about employees, potential employees, candidates that are interviewing for positions. And I look at work ethic. I look at what you've done, where you've been and where you've come from. It's important to me because if I train a pharmacist for 90 days, that's about their orientation. It costs the organization $20,000, $30,000 at least to train that employee, just to train them. We're not getting any productivity out of them. And so if we're going to invest that kind of money in an employee like that, then we want to be sure it's a good investment. And so I've got one pharmacist now. She's real interesting. She immigrated to the U.S. from Russia as a kid. So she came here with her parents, and she didn't know any English. She learned the language. She went through UK's nursing school, decided that she wanted to be a pharmacist, and she went through UK's pharmacy school. And just in her interview and knowing what she had been through and what she had worked for, that was a plus for her in my mind because she's willing to identify her goals and to work for them. And so I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that life is fair. And I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that it's all going to work out like you want it to. But in general, you get out of things what you put into them. Bad people don't always finish last, and good people certainly don't always finish first. But in general, when you invest in something, you're going to get a return out of it. And so the more that you invest, and that's beyond like what your academic ability is. That goes into how you treat other people, what kind of character you have, what is your integrity, what kind of transparency do you have when you're caught in an error. Those kinds of things really are so important to somebody like me who is looking not only to hire a good employee for my organization, but to hire somebody with whom I can work and who I can trust. Okay, so I think you guys are headed for great things, and I'm so impressed with when Dan asked me if I would come and share with you today. I really didn't know. In all transparency, I really didn't know about the work ethic certification program. But it's a great thing, and I think that you guys are headed for great things as well. I'll tell a quick story about one of my kids, and then I'll leave you alone. But our oldest son went away to college, and our only son, he's our oldest child. He went away to college, and that first semester in college, he did not do well. He carried 18 hours, which was probably a mistake, but he was advised. And he is a performing arts major at Western, and I don't know anything about performing arts except, I can dance and sing, but I really can't dance and sing. But he was going through a performing arts program, and he took 18 hours, and so I thought, okay, whatever. Well, he came home with, he did not do well that first semester. So he was home for winter break, and I just said, okay, you've got 2 roads you can go down. One is, you can take another 18 hours and you can make a 4.0 and you can retain your merit-based scholarship and you can go back to Western in the fall. Your second road is you can take 18 hours and you can not make a 4.0 and you can come home and live with your mom and dad and go to ECC, which there's nothing wrong with that. So he took 18 hours in the spring and he made a 4.0. And so he retained his merit-based scholarship and went back to Western. And I told him, I said, it's not about having the aptitude. It doesn't matter if you're the most talented player on the team, as Dan and I were talking a moment ago. It doesn't matter if you're the best, smartest student in the class. What matters is what you do with it. And so you have to apply the God-given ability and the talent that you have to be a contributing citizen and to support those around you, your family and your friends and the community. So thanks again for having me today. I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys. And if we can ever do anything for you at the pharmacy at Hardin Memorial, you be sure and let me know, and we'll be there for you. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lane. All right, so we have now come to the portion where we will start to recognize you all for your work ethic certification. So what we're going to do, students, is you will come up. We're going to kind of go by row, and we will call your name. I know we have some students that weren't able to be here. Some of our students being recognized are part of our early college program, and unfortunately, part of what they chose, they have some final exams and some things that they're doing in their college classes. But we're still going to name everyone. So if you'll collect those, your cords and your certificates, and you'll just make your way back to your seat. If we could, just hold all applause to the end. It will help us to get through the list a little faster. All right, Lori Arms, North Hardin High School. Jaslyn Barnes, Central Hardin High School. Taylor Bell, John Hardin High School. Monica Brown, Central Hardin High School. David Cantu, Central Hardin High School. Jaron Carmen, Central Hardin High School. Kaylin Carter, Central Hardin High School. Holly Chavon, John Hardin High School. Tara Kofer, Central Hardin High School. Jasmine Collins, John Hardin High School. Cameron Corbin, North Hardin High School. Griffin Couch, North Hardin High School. Mallory Cox, Central Hardin High School. Jordan Cox, John Hardin High School. Brianna Crane, Central Hardin High School. Emily Daugherty, Central Hardin High School. Hunter Dino, John Hardin High School. William Doran, Central Hardin High School. John Drake, Central Hardin High School. Caleb Drake, North Hardin High School. Griffin Dulac, John Hardin High School. Madison Duval, Central Hardin High School. Mason Frazier, Central Hardin High School. Taryn Gambrell Glover, North Hardin High School. Alexis Gooden, Central Hardin High School. Tristan Goins, Central Hardin High School. Elena Gomez, North Hardin High School. Kyler Griffith, Central Hardin High School. Michael Griffith, Central Hardin High School. Jay Hall, North Hardin High School. Noel Harper, North Hardin High School. Christina Haygood, North Hardin High School. Ernesto Hernandez Ramirez, John Hardin High School. Daniel Hess, Central Hardin High School. Clayton Hester, Central Hardin High School. Kristen Houston, Central Hardin High School. Oh, there he is. Alexis Hunt, Central Hardin High School. Jordan Inman, Central Hardin High School. Joshua Jarsford, North Hardin High School. Mark Jones, North Hardin High School. Daciana Kimbrough, John Hardin High School. Tamara Knowles, Central Hardin High School. Brandon LeClaire, Central Hardin High School. Brooke Lewis, Central Hardin High School. Theron Lowe, Central Hardin High School. Lauren Loyal, Central Hardin High School. Zachary McCauley, John Hardin High School. Morgan Mounts, Central Hardin High School. Hannah Munoz, John Hardin High School. Wendy Nee, North Hardin High School. Samantha Norris, Central Hardin High School. Dusty Pence, Central Hardin High School. Hannah Pickerel, Central Hardin High School. Levi Powell, Central Hardin High School. Renee Reynolds, North Hardin High School. Jacob Reisner, Central Hardin High School. Andrew Schreck, Central Hardin High School. Hannah Silva, Central Hardin High School. Tyler Simpson, North Hardin High School. Aaron Slack, Central Hardin High School. Keely Slade, John Hardin High School. Kevin Slinker, Central Hardin High School. Aaron Snow, North Hardin High School. Zachary South, Central Hardin High School. Damon Stover, Central Hardin High School. Hallie Sullenbarger, Central Hardin High School. Logan Swearingen, Central Hardin High School. Robert Swift, John Hardin High School. Brittany Thomas, Central Hardin High School. Lauren Trout, Central Hardin High School. Caleb Vinton, North Hardin High School. Reagan White, Central Hardin High School. Tacoma Yahola, John Hardin High School. and Patrick Vance, Central Hardin High School. Please join me in congratulating our work ethic certification students. Superintendent, Ms. Terry Morgan.
It'll be brief. First off, thanks to everybody here at EC3 who helped you with the certification, because it is very important for what you are about to encounter over the next several years, whether it be immediate or long-term. The work ethic that you have earned here is exactly what our employers, exactly what Hardin Memorial Hospital is asking for, Matos is asking for, Alltech, all the different places are saying, we just need people to show up and show up with a great attitude. And you do that with your grades and your attendance. So congratulations. Tomorrow, we have a job fair at Central Hardin High School. I believe we have 28 companies, thanks to the hard work of Mr. John Wright over here. And those companies are wanting you. John honestly called a few of them, and then others called and said, we want to be a part of this. These are the students that we want. So realize tomorrow you will come back over to Central Hardin High School. All 3 high schools will be there. But you have the opportunity to seek long-term employment, or if you're planning to go to school in the fall, you may want just a summer job, and they are interested in all of the students. And the only students who will be coming to this are students who have earned work ethic certification. So congratulations to you, and appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you all for coming. That concludes our presentation.